I'm sitting well after dinner at the kitchen table with my family in Chicago. And I know there was just this intuition that I had, this feeling that I needed to go upstairs in the bedroom. And I didn't know why, but I went upstairs to the bedroom. And there, as I'm walking into the bedroom, I see my phone light up. And I see Jordan's father's face on the phone. I picked up the phone and I said, "Hey, Ron, how are you doing? Happy Thanksgiving. How are you doing?" He says, "Where are you?" And that's when he says, "Jordan's been shot." It's just as fresh today as the day that it happened. And I just started screaming and just like, I fell on the floor and everything went black. Because I felt like as hard as I tried, as hard as we tried to raise them in the right environment and keep them in the right schools and everything that we did to keep him in church and to keep him in a good circle of friends, it didn't matter because he was a young black male and he was always going to be a target in this country. And how many more young men, women, aunties, uncles, children, mothers, grandmothers all around the country are dying like this every single day? And no one is speaking up about it. It wasn't just about my son's tragedy. It's about what's been going on in this country for decades. And I really began to feel like out of my tragedy of having lost Jordan, I felt like for the first time I was doing something that maybe I was born to do. I felt like everything that I had experienced with my parents, with my family, was preparing me for this moment. But I didn't have any idea it was preparing me for Congress. Jordan was murdered just 9 months after Trayvon. We have some of the weakest gun laws in the world. So I refused to keep my mouth shut. I was going to tell my story to anybody that would listen to me. But I also wanted to be able to highlight other people's stories too. So I started volunteering with Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America. Within 4 months, Shannon Watts said to me, "Would you be our national spokesperson?" And I said, "What does that mean?" I don't know how to be a spokesperson. She said, "We just need you to tell your story." And I said, "Well, I'm more than happy to do that, but allow me to tell my story in spaces and places where we have to go. We have to go to communities of color where disproportionately people are dying by gun violence every day. We have to go to the faith community because they've got people sitting in their pews every single Sunday that are dying. Nobody's talking about the numbers of children that have access to unsecured firearms that are dying every single day." So my ask to Shannon was, allow me to go to the spaces and places where we can build an army of volunteers and build a movement that will change the course of this nation. I'd had enough. I said, this has got to stop. And so who better than a mother?
You don't stop being a mom when your child dies. You don't stop being a parent. I am still Jordan Davis's mother.
That year that I spent on the campaign trail with Secretary Clinton when she was running on a gun safety platform, when she ran for president. And I was there with her and Sabrina Fulton, Trayvon's mother, and Sandra Bland's mother, and Eric Garner's mother, and Michael Brown's mother. We were all on the campaign trail for a whole year with her. So I knew what campaigning would be like, not the full intricacies of it. And so I decided I was going to stand up and I was going to run for office. Now, hear what a novel idea a woman let alone a Black woman running in Ruby Red, Georgia on a gun safety platform. And everybody told me it'll never happen. But I knew in my heart and soul, I knew that even if I didn't win, I would raise the profile of gun violence prevention in America, which we so desperately need. I knew that my running would help empower other survivors like myself to stand up and take their power back and not just lay down and die a second death after they've lost their loved one.
I appear before you because my son Jordan was shot and killed last November while sitting in the back seat of a friend's car listening to loud music. The man who killed him opened fire on 4 unarmed teenagers, even as they tried to move out of harm's way.
Survivors, we know what it's like to lose someone to gun violence. We know what it's like to be affected by gun violence. It's in our gut. It's in our core, something we can't eradicate. But what we do understand and know is the power of our collaboration, the power of us coming together, the power of us telling our stories. Demand a Seat is a leadership initiative to help build leaders, gun sense champions. It uplifts them, empowers them, teaches them how to find their why. It teaches them how to have a seat at the table. That's how we change the course of gun violence in America. I doubted that I could learn everything I needed to learn. I doubted that I had the capacity to do it. And I doubted because I had the fear of letting people down, that I would fail and they would be disappointed in me. I had to step outside the box. I had to take the chance. And I had to say, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to try to save at least one life. And if just one voice, my voice, will make a small difference, then I've done what I've come to do.
And in Washington, my door is wide open to you. I will expect to see you. I will expect to hear from you because I need you to help me shift what's happening in Washington.
To be able to live without the fear of gun violence is it's liberation. That's real democracy.